Hi guys, so I know I promised I was going to do my top picks of 2014 and I was going to do each individual video, but my camera has been a douche, and also I've been super busy, school started back up, so I'm not going to be able to do that. So what I decided I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my #1 picks in all the categories, and then I will link each individual list that I have up on my Tumblr down below in the description so you can check those out yourself. But yeah, so let's get started before my camera just stops recording. The first category I had was my top 6 favorite albums that I listened to for the first time this year. And my #1 pick was Taylor Swift's 1989. I love that album, especially the songs Shake It Off, Blank Space, I Know Places, and Clean, and Out of the Woods. Those are my favorite tracks. But yeah, I had 6 albums total, so you can click the link down below to see what the six were. The next list I had were the top 10 wrestlers that impressed me this year, and all of them are from the WWE or NXT. And my #1 pick was Nikki Bella. I've never been a fan of the Bella Twins, but this year Nikki has really impressed me, and I've become a fan of her. And Brie, but Nikki more than Brie. But yes. Then I had my top 15 favorite ships. It's top 15 favorite OTPs. Basically ships I started shipping hardcore this year. And my #1 was Clamille from the originals, which is Klaus and Cammy. I just love them together. And Leah and Joseph's chemistry is just so good. And they're my OTP. I love them. Then I had my top 25 actors that I was introduced to or reintroduced to this year, and my #1 pick was Aaron Paul, and I was introduced to him from Breaking Bad. He's so good as Jesse Pinkman, and he's just so handsome, and I really cannot wait to see other stuff that he's been in, so yeah. And then my next list was my top 25 favorite actresses that I was introduced to or reintroduced to this year. And my #1 pick was Lupita Nyong'o, who I was introduced to from 12 Years a Slave. She played Patsy. She was fantastic in 12 Years a Slave, and she deserved every award she was nominated for and every award she won because I loved her, and she's a gorgeous woman. Like, oh my god. So yeah. My next list was my top 8 favorite books that I read in 2014, and my #1 that I read was Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I had a major authors class that focused on her work, and so I finally got to read some Jane Austen. I never had read her work before, and I fell in love with Pride and Prejudice. I now understand why so many people love that book. I think I gave it on my Goodreads a 4.5, so yeah, I really loved it. My next list was my top 15 or 16, I can't remember which number, but favorite TV shows that I got into this year, and my #1 pick was Breaking Bad. I now understand all the hype when it concerns Breaking Bad. That show is phenomenal. Like, all the acting on that show is incredible. The characters are so good. And I will say this right now, because I have noticed in the Breaking Bad fandom, a lot of people hate Skylar White, and I will just tell you all right now, I love me some Skylar White. So if you hate Skylar, we have a problem, because I love me some Skylar White, so yes. And then the last list I had was my top 20 favorite TV shows that I watched in 2014. Not TV shows, oh my god, I'm nuts. My top 20 favorite movies I saw in 2014, and some of these came out in 2014, and some of them came out at some other time, but these were all the ones I watched for the first time. And my #1 pick was The Fault in Our Stars. Well, that says The Night Before the Stars, but that's when I saw it. But yes, The Fault in Our Stars, which starred Shailene Woodley and Ansel Elgort. I read the book by John Green. I loved the book, and the movie was phenomenal. I loved it, and yeah, those were my top picks of all my lists. But like I said, I will put a link down below to each list so you can see the whole list on my Tumblr. And yeah, that's it. So like, favorite, comment, subscribe. Until next time, bye guys.